here in Mudgee, which has been a wonderful host of this game. As I said earlier, 7th time out of 8 years. Last year, things were changed around a bit because South were going to Vegas, so the Charity Shield was played at Cogra. But it feels right that we're back here. It is certainly the most prestigious of the club games in the pre-season. And off we go, the Dragons and the South Sydney Rabbitohs in the Charity Shield of 2025. And it's St George Illawarra with the former Raider Emre Gula getting things going. It's Gula and Toby Couchman the front row as the ball is given out to Luciano Leilua. Familiar back row today for the Dragons, Leilua, Sua and DeBellin. There's Cook in the dummy half roll, of course. So the Dragons there with Toby Couchman. Never started an NRL game in the front row, but plenty of bench experience. A bit of ball shifting again here in this opening set. This time, the former Rabbitohs Sua. Dragons looked good last week, but they were playing a very strong outfit. That's really been the Shane Flanagan plan. Have the guns out there getting used to each other. And a fine opening set from the Red V. Tyrone Munro is the South Sydney winger. We saw him last week. Very tough carries in the All-Stars game. And Jack White in the centre role for South.
I think Shane Flanagan had to play his big guns and had to play Gutherson, Lachlan Elias, Damien Cook. 3 players in the spine, 3 new players, very experienced, but they need to spend time on the field to get used to each other and those around them. I was impressed with them last week. And in fact, I thought the best out of all the Dragons last week was Flano's son, Kyle. I thought Kyle Flanagan started the game fantastically well. A couple of try assists, a try himself.
A couple of very good runs there. Talister, oh no, the ball's out on the full. So the Duncan and Kempy runs, which really had the Dragons backpedaling a little, have just been cancelled out. Jaden Sullivan, the former Dragon, putting that one out on the full.
It's not easy when you're a right foot kicker and you're standing on the left side of the play the ball, which Jaden Sullivan was. You tend to be twisting your body to get away from the chase. And all you have to do is slightly miss-hit the ball. And that's exactly what can happen to it. Jaden Sullivan just hooking that one over the sideline on the full.
He's got an unusual contract. He's on loan to South. West's Tigers player with a long-term deal. But for 2025, he's a bunny that the Tigers will get him back next year. Dragons with an early opportunity. And the front man here, Gula, shrugging off Matangi.
Good ball there, Lockie Elias. Just held it up nicely for Gula.
Gutherson on the short side, but it's Elias in the middle, providing for DeBellin. Drop to behind him, and South off the hook. This is the number 7, Lewis Dodd. So South really survived that pretty comfortably. James Hooper with the best seat in the house. Hello to you.
Afternoon, Dan and Brandy. Afternoon, everybody. Cracking conditions in the Central West. New South Wales town of Mudgee as we see the bunnies down make a break.
A foreboding run from Davey Moale. We'll come back to you in a moment, Hoops. But South Sydney here off that line break. Move it across to Sullivan. Turning it back for Matangi. And dragging him was Flanagan along with Toby Couchman. So Mamazelos. On to Dodd. Oh, what a tackle as Fletcher is picked up and dubbed. Damien Cook, wonderful technique, but hang on, the ball will be played again. Last tackle. You think Damien Cook's not taking this game seriously. And going up and balking there, forcing a knock on. So knock on here against South Sydney. Fletcher Myers imposing himself there. But what about this?
Read it beautifully, didn't he? Damien Cook up under the ribs. Thomas Fletcher, and then just the slightest of touches there from the South Sydney player that leapt over the top of Gutho. So they get the call, the Dragons, on that one. But Kepi and Moale already causing some problems in and around the Dragons' ruck.
Indeed. James Hooper, we rudely interrupted you before. Back down to you now.
Cracking conditions, Dan. It's nice and warm, currently 28 degrees. A little bit of a breeze, not really favouring either side. And, of course, the big story, well, it's Lockie Elias up against Lewis Dodd, the halfbacks.
Indeed. And now a penalty here to the Dragons. So tap taken by Cook.
Sorry, Damien. You come forward off the mark.
So Adam G with an apology.
Overstepped the mark. Damien Cook looking for the quick one.
But, telling him there that not entitled to take that tap.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not lost on Lockie Ilias either. The red and white after being shown the door at South Sydney.
This is a game that used to be dominated by the Dragons for many years, but the last 12 occasions, South have won 10, had a draw in their favour because they retained the trophy. The Dragons have only won the Charity Shield once in 12 years. Couchman. That win for the Dragons 2 years ago. Ilias now linking up with Flanagan, and now a strong shot here on Gutherson as Myers comes away with it and tries to push away from Finau. Finau does well, but it's coming all the way back. Gee, a bit of action here in the opening 5 minutes.
Yeah, the pass to Gutherson was never on. Fletcher Myers read it well. They should have realised that. The inside player threw the ball. It was a hospital pass to Gutherson. Just watch. Myers reads it in jammed. Kyle Flanagan needed to hang on to that one. We'll lob it over the top. Bit of space there for Valentine Holmes on the outside.
So South Sydney knock on. Gula. Wanted to come back to Sydney for compassionate reasons, and he's here as a Dragon. DeBell an early ball. Flanagan on. The shovel from Gutherson. Holmes gets it on. Finau scores. That's a classy Red V try. Sione Finau, who's played a couple of first-grade games with the finish.
Well, they got it wrong in the last set, but they fixed it very quickly, and it was the play of Kyle Flanagan that was the difference. He barely touched the ball and got it through his hands a little bit quicker. He realised that Myers was going to come in again, but he was backpedaling. That's a brilliant take from Val Holmes. Gutho caught it at an awkward position and just had to push it out and pushed it to the ground. Val Holmes got his hands on the tip of that ball then and was able to take it and get it out to the wing very quickly. Sione Finau scoring the try. They got it wrong the set before, but fixed it up beautifully.
Well, this man essentially is keeping Tyrell Sloan out. And you see his try-scoring record in New South Wales Cup. Sloan is in this game in jersey 18, so we'll see him later. This boy from Wallen in country Victoria. One time he was in the Storm system. Had a little taste of first grade last year with one game and then won the year before. But plenty of great work done in the lead up there. Good try. Holmes.
Holmes, brilliant. Brilliant hands from Holmes. It was headed towards the ground. It was on its way down.
Time off, minute 20.
And both Flanagan and Gutherson, although unorthodox from Gutho, did what was required. Quick hands. Through the hands quickly and get it out to the winger.
Sort of a bit of feast and famine, or famine from this man last year. Holmes, the good and the bad. His goal kicking, though, was good. 85%. It was better than good. It was excellent. You saw their career rate, 80%, but Testa here to start things off. And it's holding its line, kisses the upright and goes through. Dragons, outstanding start, 6 points to 0.
One of the big stories of the summer was the roster overhaul at the Red V, and two of their marquee men involved in this play here. Clint Gutherson with all his experience, and also Valentine Holmes, who's represented for Queensland and also Australia, won a premiership under Shane Flanagan back in 2016 at Cronulla. They're two key signings for the Dragons this season, and they've had a key involvement as they take an early lead in this 42nd edition of the Charity Shield.
That was just a great example of the class that Valentine Holmes will bring to that edge.
Oh, yes, indeed. You know, Val Holmes only 29. He's done so much in his career, won a premiership, gave the NFL a little crack, a good stint, very good stint at North Queensland. 29 years of age, there's a lot of good football left in him. And he's at the Dragons on a 3-year deal. That's a line baller. Gula. Nice roll on here for the Dragons. Cook can't quite get away from his opposite in Mamazelos. There's Gutherson. He's everywhere. Clint Gutherson, something we've become very familiar with over the years. All they lure wants, runs over the top of Fletcher. Fletcher holds on, needs Duncan as well. High kick here and flying through and putting pressure on. Sees Munro, loser behind him. And we've got an escort situation there. That was Matt Finau pouring through, and another result for the Dragons.
It was only minor, but he did. He ran him off the ball. South Sydney chase, or trying to defend the catcher. Just watch this. Just moved sideways. Jackie Whiten just enough to take Finau out of the contest.
Well, great chance here to go back to back as Couchman claimed on the 10-metre line. DeBellin down the middle. Cook looking to his left, and that's where he heads. Azilius to Flanagan, double cutout. Finau, great ball and all tackle from Tass. Named on the wing but forced to play in the centres. Pretty familiar with that position. Cook second receiver. Now the kick in from Ilias, knocked down. Clever stuff, Sullivan there. He had to come up with that, but it is a knock on.
He did. Great reflexes there from Jaden Sullivan. The kick, nice little play that one, midway through the set. If it squeezes through the gap there, they were pouring through. Ilias, Jaden Sewer was on the chase. They'll get another set though, with a little fumble there from Jaden Sullivan. A bulk of possession to the Dragons. They'll want to take advantage of it. Full set starting on the 10.
It's hard not to like the variety they're showing here early. Flanagan turning it in, Finau. And a try scorer here for the Red V. So he's now crossed that 10-minute mark. Cook again, Mamazillos all over him. So Mamazillos has clearly made it his mission and not let Cook run out of dummy half. DeBellin down the centre. Dragons here looking for their second try. Flanagan. Leilua at close range. 4 defenders involved. Now, we haven't seen Gutherson yet. Oh, 6 again, and they'll play advantage here. That was a poor pass.
2 IDs in the set.
But
they got away with it.
They sure did with the 6 again, and Adam G. The right call there, blowing the penalty, and the Dragons will tap.
Well, another set to the Dragons. Penalties 3-0. They've been able to get through 5 sets, only 1 for the Bunnies.
So Gula here. Played a grand final, Emre Gula, back in 2019. Very good player for Canberra. Ilias now. Turning it in and launching onto this was Toby Couchman. Set deep is Gula, but he's a decoy as Flanagan on. There's Gutherson. Away now for Moses Sully getting it on. This is good stuff from the Dragons. Finau has scored. A try on the left, a try on the right. And the Dragons showing some very, very good signs here.
And their shape has looked great on both sides of the field. They have primarily gone down that left-hand side through Kyle Flanagan. This time they attack the right side, Gutherson getting involved. Just look at the depth that they give themselves on the line. That's the sort of space you need so you can try and engage the defenders, and that's exactly what Moses Sully did. Stepped at Jack White and then took out Munro and just made it hard. At Munro, he had to get involved in it, had to try and wrap the ball up, but Sully was too good, able to flick it out. Matt Finau scores the second try. They really had to score a try after, with all the ball that they've had down this end of the field, and they do. Sides don't always come up with the points when they've got the ball and the field position, but the Dragons been good enough to do it twice now. Great. They look 45-degree angle. They've given themselves a little bit of space when they've been down on the line. Sometimes it can be a really hard place to attack.
Yeah.
Defence is up in your face. You see a lot of sides get shut down because they don't give themselves the space. The Dragons have been very good in that department.
Yeah, they've got some tricks, it would seem, and Gutherson only chimed in once, and it was the try-scoring play, but a terrific pass by Sully. They've got some skill out there. Sully on one side, and Val Holmes on the other. Luciano Leilua as well. He can get a pass away as good as anyone. So Holmes got the first one. This one from the less preferred angle. Crowd silent here. Just waiting. There's now Holmes. Yeah, he's got it. Not sure he even got that flush, but the arrow is pointed straight down the middle. 12-0.
If it was a golf shot, you'd say, did he hit it a bit fat or a bit thin? One of the two.
He dead set took a divot out. Good enough.
Still went straight down the fairway.
12-0, 13.5 gone here. And
no one on the inside overplayed their hand. Ilias, Gutherson, quick hands to Moses Sully, who could do something, drag two defenders in and create space for his outside man.
Dragons, I'll tell you what, they can win this pre-season challenge too, because they did well last week, and great start here. Oh, lost backwards by Ilias. Got away with that one, with Gula carrying it forward. So the Dragons have hardly put a foot wrong. South have only had the ball twice. One of them, they lost the ball.
Big run, Moses Sully.
Gee, had some big games last year, Sully.
That's a great carry out of your own end.
And now it's got South Sydney on their heels as the pass is slipped away. Finau with open space. Gutherson with a chance. Has he got the pace? Gutherson gets it on. And now Ilias got there. Lachlan Ilias, the former Rabbitoh, has scored. This is electric stuff for the Dragons.
Well, Moses Sully set the last try up with a great flick pass. On this occasion, off the kickoff, it was a powerhouse run from the centre. He got them on the front foot. They then, the next play, the ball, Jaden Sewer down the right side. Finau into some space, picked up Gutherson. Lockie Ellis finishes it off. There was still some work to do, and I think he got there, Dan.
Yeah,
I think he got there. Quick play the ball. Cook comes open, then back the blind. Beats the tackle of White and does Jaden Sewer. Then Mac Finau with some great footwork to head back in field, pick up Gutho. Magical ball from Gutherson. Jai Gray gets him.
Oh, they're having a real look at this. Liam LeBlanc, by the way, with the chase on Gutherson. Oh, no, he's got it. No,
I think it's on
good.
the line. It's hard to tell from this angle, but I think it's on the line.
You can't overturn that.
It looks good.
Well, wouldn't he enjoy this, Lockie Ilias? And let's be honest, Brendy, he's been very good these early. He's had a great team performance. I know people aren't supposed to get excited about trials, but those Dragons fans, I can just see them now, Brandy. They're thinking, hang on, we might have something here.
Oh, it's very quickly 16-0, soon to be 18.
They're ahead of the clock, 15.5 gone, 18-0.
The Red V cutting South Sydney open from long range, and the try scorer, that man on screen now, Lockie Ilias, won't he enjoy that? It was one of the big stories of last season. The Bunnies decided to move him on. He was no longer to be their number 7. They went into the market. They went all the way over to England. They signed Lewis Dodd out of St Helens. He is wearing that famous red and green number 7 jumper for the Bunnies today, and Lockie, well, he now calls St George Illawarra home, and that's been a positive start.
Yeah, and also great to see you. Remember, had that horrible leg injury. That was in April. He has not played in nearly 11 months.
So his game last week against the Roosters was the first game back from that shocking broken leg.
That's it. That's exactly right. Yeah, round 5.
Hold, fellas. Go to.
DeBellin. Oh, knock on. Here we go. Well, South have been waiting an eternity to get an opportunity, and here it is. Bad play the ball. Bad play the ball. And the Bunnies now a rare chance with the ball.
Genuine. Tell us genuine.
They haven't had a chance. Second set with it.
Only 1 second.
They've had 4 tackles in Dragons territory. In fact, they've hardly had any play the balls, full stop. Duncan. 10 metres out. And Mazzelos. Dodd turning it in. Liam LeBlanc. Duncan down the middle.
Jack, straight away. Go to.
Mamazelos goes deep. Sullivan Delayed pass, Matangi, easy meet. So that's 3 gone. Oh, Mamazelos on his own. Well, he fooled them briefly, but the Dragons recovered there with Sewer. Haven't thrown much at the Dragons here. Dodd, the little left foot kick. And Flanagan's back there. Geez, hardly a chase from South Sydney, but at least force a line dropout.
Well, not a bad ploy, but they just didn't have any chase with it. He got the ball through the line and into the in-goal area, but easily cleaned up there by Flanagan. I think LeBlanc ran into one of the Dragons' defenders. That's what stopped him getting amongst it, but they'll get the ball back, unless...
Yeah. Gutherson. Oh, it's shaping to be too big. Great catch by Myers. Finau made it difficult, but Myers up there with a terrific take. LeBlanc on, really from early on here. We haven't seen Jai Gray yet. A little whippersnapper. He might get involved here. Duncan out to Sullivan. Racing up Ilias. Here it comes to Gray. This won't be easy for him, but he looks for a little opening. Not clinical here, South Sydney. And 2 tackles left. Dodd with the outside inside. The grass cutter from Toby Couchman. Last. Dodd. That beautifully cut off. That was Leilua, and now it sends Holmes away. Now Gray is chasing. He's gaining slowly. He mightn't have enough. The pass on here to Finau. Got there! Spectacular stuff for the Dragons. They've gone the length of the field. And they're scoring the sort of tries we haven't seen the likes of in a long time at Cogger and the Gong.
Well, the Dragons have dominated possession, but the Bunnies were looking to keep it down that end of the field, and the kick from Lewis Dodd just found some feet, ricocheted around, and it was Val Holmes who swooped on the ball. I think it was Jack DeBellin who got his foot to the ball, and then Val Holmes picks it up. He races away very quickly from Lewis Dodd, left him standing. But it was a good chase from the Bunnies. Fletcher Myers, Sione Finau, just quick enough. Great pickup, Val Holmes. Well, we raved about the signing of Clint Gutherson.
Oh, it's a good signing.
This is a great signing. Val Holmes, what a class player. And Finau just stays alive long enough there. Stays on his feet to get it down. What a start from the Dragons.
This is eye-catching. Speaking to some Dragons fans in the off-season, I'll give one away here. I'll betray confidence. The great Kerry O'Keefe from Fox Cricket, he was very sceptical. I think we might have turned Kerry in the first 20 minutes of this Charity Shield. You know, a lot of the Dragons fans, they've been beaten down for a while, Brandy. And, you know, they just don't want to let themselves hope. Maybe they should. Maybe they should get a bit excited.
Well, I think well, you can't argue with the signings at the moment. They looked good. I thought they looked great on paper.
And this is where we put the asterisks on. Yes, it's a trial.
No, don't worry about it.
Hey, let's get excited.
Yes.
Come on. Here's the kick. And a beauty. That one's better. That one right down the middle and never in doubt.
Flushed it.
St George Illawarra 24, South Sydney 0.
The Dragons putting on an absolute clinic in Mudgee, and there is a decent 4-way battle on here as to who will be their starting wingers come the beginning of the season, because we've seen Sione Finau already bagged 2 tries today, shows how electric he is in that piece of play there. Then on the other wing you got Matt Finau, then on the bench, he's on the bike at the moment, you got the electric speed of Terrell Sloan, and Christian Tuapoloto is also in the mix, so a welcome headache for Shane Flanagan.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sione Finau can't do much more than what he's produced so far.
No.
Good finishes, both of them.
Tyrell Sloan, not much time on the wing, so we'll see what Flano comes up with, but you're right, Hoops, he's got plenty of options.
What a start. Cook. Jaden Sewer. Souths have a stack missing, of course. I mean, that's we actually genuinely put the asterisks on as Flanagan, Gutherson, razzle dazzle, Leilua bounding downfield. Holmes again in the clear. Early ball for Finau, he's got 3! Oh, This just gets better. Oh, hang on, did he get it down? Sione.
Surely he got it down. Yes, he did.
Adam G thinks so, but they will have a look. Oh, this is incredible.
Yeah, the ball did bounce away from Sione Finau when he hit the ground there, but referee's confident that he got it down. Scintillating play there from the Dragons. And again, all doing their job on the inside, just engaging the right defenders. Kyle Flanagan, Gutherson over the top to Leilua. That's a cover defence coming across here in Jai Gray. Held it up beautifully, did Val Holmes, just to drag in Jai Gray, who was very quick. He could have easily gone across the face of Holmes, threw it behind him. Finau does a remarkable job there to pull it in with his right hand. I just missed that. I missed that put down. They must be confident upstairs, but again, it bounced away from him quite hard.
Yes, it did. Wow, they are setting this stadium alight. 3 tries in 22 minutes.
Well, back to back, very quick. So, 2 long-range efforts, both involving Val Holmes and Sione Finau.
So when they won last week, I think there was almost an expectation. They were playing their strongest team. The Roosters were playing a typical trial team. Maybe that
a mix of first graders and youngsters.
That's right. That win pretty easy to write off. This is not so. This is a very, very good performance. Holmes, this is one of the. In fact, this might be, apart from the Ilias try, this would be the easiest kick at goal he's had. You wouldn't believe it. He can do that, Val. He kicks all the hard ones, and then just occasionally he does that. 28-0 after just 23 minutes.
So, speaking of goal kicking, very interesting as... here's the put down. Oh, no, he slammed it down. But he slammed it down, but slammed it down hard. The ball just bounced away from him. That made it a little bit worrying. No problem. Yeah, no problem. At Leichhardt Oval last night, one of the things to come out of the trial matches was Zach Lomax will be kicking for the Eels, not Mitch Moses.
Right.
He's handed over the duties.
Okay. But Moses didn't play last night, so that's been, you've got the good word, it's Zach Lomax's job.
Out of Mitch Moses' mouth last night.
Beautiful, all right. The super coaches will be just taking notes. There's a strong run there. LeBlanc gets straight back up. Latrell watching on. There's Gutherson captured. Again, South have had 0 ball, it seems. Cook with a little dart. And now an error, a rare Dragons error.
I doubt that he was going to be able to get the kick away anyway. Kepi was very quick out of marker to put pressure on. And just in his haste to try and get it to his foot, he spilt the ball, Lockie Ilias.
Third error for the Dragons. Maybe he felt the footsteps coming.
Well, just hurried him up that little extra there to force the error.
Now, 13 for South, the former Dolphin, Lockie Hubner. He's come down with Wayne Bennett. Handful of first grade games.
Jamie Humphreys on a dummy half too for South.
Sullivan to the line. Whiten. Just a knock on. This is not happening for the Bunnies today. That happening on tackle number 3.
He's had a tough afternoon so far, Jack Whiten. Under pressure defensively, comes up with an error there.
So Wayne, 38th season of coaching. Amazing, 38. Take it for granted because we've been part of the whole way watching on, but 38 seasons of first grade coaching. Boy, oh boy. His teams, when he comes to a club, forget the new clubs when he joined Brisbane and Dolphins, but the established clubs, he averages a 3-win improvement the season he arrives. So 7 wins last year, South. To be fair, they probably want more than the average of 3 wins extra. but that's his average years gone by.
Hold!
Leilua's been good. DeBellin out the back. Now Sewer in the middle. Sully getting it on. Haven't seen much ball on this side, on the right. And when they've given it
they got it through their hands.
They've looked great.
Yeah, they have. Well, they've looked good on both sides, and they got it through their hands there and just moved the defence around. They come back to the centre now on the last play.
On the last, again, they've profited so well. Gutherson, the double cutout. Finau with 3 tries, the little grubber. Gutherson can't get involved. And a rarity, a set ends like that in a damp squib. Down to you, Hoops. You've got some concussion news.
A blow for the Bunnies, Dan, in what's already been a tough afternoon. Thomas Fletcher, who started the game in the back row with Tallis Duncan, moved to lock. He's been ruled out with a Category 1 HIA. We won't see him again.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I did see him reel out of a tackle, and that must have been the one for Thomas Fletcher.
So changes, that one a forced one, but there's changes coming here. So Hame Sele in the game. Another former Rabbitoh. Now this is a handy kick here. Where's this been booted from? It's certainly gone beyond the 20. And letting that one go there. The hat-trick man, Sione Finau.
South ball, is it?
Yeah,
20.
That's Lewis Dodd's best moment on these shores
yes,
in this pre-season.
No, he was over.
Yeah, he was too.
He took a step over.
That's a shame. Good kick.
Go for it.
So Dragons ball.
Go.
Dodd a couple of years ago.
Together,
That's the
Tallis,
World
away.
Club Challenge from Penrith.
Go.
He was the St Helens man. But trying to make his mark now in the NRL. That's a Moses Sully.
Strong run from Sully.
Sella.
Play on, play on.
Oh, Leilua. The no-looker. Fancy, high tackle. So Dodd there getting that one wrong, and the Dragons will go on the attack again.
The penalties 4-0. Dragons 11 from 14. Only 5 sets have been able to get through the Bunnies. They've done a lot of tackling, twice as many tackles, or close to it.
Oh, jeez. What a footy to be played today. But Dragons' biggest win in the Charity Shield, 26 points. That was back in 2004. And a chance here to add to their 28-point lead. Flanagan turning it in. Hame Sele, geez, not great to see him back. The heart condition last August, so frightening. Cook inside the 20. DeBellin nice and straight. Oh, the hand movement. Holmes, Finau, 4 for Finau. Oh, this is a bloodbath. It's supposed to be for charity, but the Dragons are destroying the Bunny.
Well, what you said, they've been great on both sides of the field, but they have been exceptional down the left. Kyle Flanagan, Clint Gutherson, Val Holmes, and that man, Sione Finau, who's just scored his 4th try of the afternoon. We've still got 10 minutes to go in the first half, and he's already run 4 tries in. They have looked precision-like, clockwork-like down this left-hand side. Luciano Leilua has played his part in the attack down this side of the field. That's brilliant there. Did Leilua then just turn his back and just tap it on there to Gutherson? He did. That was brilliant.
They're the entertainers,
Look at
Randy.
that.
They're the entertainers.
I think most missed that, but the Leilua part in that was just brilliant.
4 tries and a half. Too many times, mental as anything here. Too many times for South. 6 tries. And Wayne, it would be the same look if they were up 32-0.
Well, he's run the last 3 in the last 10 minutes. He scored 3 in 10 minutes. He scored the first try of the afternoon. That was in the 7th, but his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th tries have come between the 21st and 29th minute.
Okay.
19th and 29th.
And,
so,
this is concerning. So,
Yeah,
okay. So what's happened here? So this is most concerning. So 4 tries, and now we've got Ryan Couchman, not a like-for-like replacement, but he looks quite distressed, doesn't he, Sione Finau?
he does. He looks unsteady on his feet.
Yeah. So, yeah, this has come from nowhere. Okay, so a head knock, and that's probably going to be the end of him for the day. And Tyrell Sloan will get his chance. But 4 tries in 30 minutes. Exceptional. But good luck to the young man as... Oh, jeez.
Oh, he's not good.
Yeah, no, not at all. Just keep an eye on that, and hopefully we can bring you some positive news. But
did he cop a head knock in the last try he scored up?
It was a very delayed reaction, wasn't it? And hopefully it's not a heat stroke situation. But
don't forget, he copped the high shot from Lewis Dodd.
Yes, you're right. So the kick here from Holmes. He's got it. 34 points to 0. But good luck to young Sione Finau. And as soon as we get some news, we'll bring it to you here. And he looks like he might have improved in the last few seconds, but the Docs will deal with that. So no problem there. Here's the quadruple.
Did well to get that one down. Had to drag that one in. The Valholmes pass went behind him. And then that's number 4.
I think you've nailed it, because he's fine there.
Well,
but the Lewis Dodd shot might have. It is a delayed reaction.
Well, you went when you saw the replay. You went, oh, that was a little bit more force than what we thought.
Yeah.
On replay, it got him flush.
So 34 to 0. Moses Sully. 6 run. He's usually good for 120, 140 metres a game. He's one of the great metre gainers amongst outside backs in the NRL. Ryan Couchman, followed up by Leilua. Gutherson into Jamie Humphreys in 14. LeBlanc there as well. So was Hubner. So it's just all Dragons. South just can't get a sniff here. Munro brings it back.
I don't think South have had a set since Lewis Dodd grubber kicked it into Jack DeBellin's feet and Valholmes picked it up for a try.
Right, yeah.
I don't think they've touched the ball since.
16 sets for the Dragons, 17 now. South have had it for 7, completed 5.
And we can get lopsided possession counts in games, but we don't often get scorelines.
No, Dragons are doing something.
Dragons have been very good with the ball.
Well, they've only had 10 tackles in South's 20, and they have 6 tries. Gray, with as much room as he's had all afternoon, slipping into that tackle from Ilias, and now he has been knocked about by that one.
Last one, Dragons!
Oh, geez, now a hobble. Geez, I don't need another one injured. He's Latrell's replacement. Here's the high kick. One serious chase, but no problem here for Gutherson.
No, didn't even have to leave the ground there. Isaiah Tass on the chase, but Gutherson just pretty comfortably took that one. Tyrell Sloan, we'll get a look at what Tyrell's like now on a wing. He's spent very little time in first grade on the wing.
Well, he said he's bulked up.
He does look bigger.
He does.
And he had to, because at times last year and the year before he was manhandled by the defence, and that went against him. But he does look a fair bit bigger up top.
So Zelos there with the tackle, along with Humphreys. Knock on. Okay, so an error for the Dragons. Can South get a little something before half-time? James Hooper, you've got some news?
Yeah, as predicted, they're just the heat stroke. So, look, it is very warm conditions here in Mudgee at the moment. It's currently 28 degrees, and out on the field, it'd be even hotter. And as a result, they just needed to bring him off. They're also checking him for an HIA, but primarily he was struggling in the conditions.
Okay, all right. Well, he has done a lot of work. Thank you, Herbs. I mean, it is warm, Brandy, but we've had warmer during these trials.
Well, we've like the weather in Sydney through January was horrific.
Yes.
Like the humidity. So
anyway, good luck to young Finau. Sullivan away to Gray. Dragons are in sync. When Souths have got it, it's a little cumbersome. White and dummy half.
I think the amount of defence they've done, Dan, certainly
Makes sense.
affects that.
Moale with Mamazelos getting it on. Dodd, neat pass. Hubner close. Good defence, Dragons. Haven't really been tested much, but coming up trumps there. Now Sullivan into a cul-de-sac. Goes over the head of Dodd. Gray, stab kick. Gray coming through. Gray, great try.
Quick.
Jai Gray scores. Well, that's brilliant. Brilliant from the South Sydney fullback. Finally, yes, you've got something to cheer about, you red and green.
Well, the acceleration of Jai Gray is just incredible and hard to stop, hard to beat. Very hard to compete with. He scored a try last week when a kick was put over for him up there at Gosford, and just the speed of Jai Gray got him there last week against Manly. This time he does it for himself. Once it got through the defensive line, well, just wow. How quick is he? Was able to slide through to between the defenders there, and he comfortably won the race. Better Matt Fianay, and they needed it.
Boy, did they waff.
5 and a bit minutes before the break.
7 tries in the top grade last year in his 13 games. Geez, not many in our game can score a try like that. That's a terrific effort there.
And every run he makes, like every run is like, it's 100%. He leaves nothing in the tank. He's not searching for space. He accelerates into it and just tries to get through it. Now, his size means that, you know, a big bloke can just grab him by the jersey and get him to ground, but he's always threatening because of that speed.
So it's Isaiah Tass doing the kicking, and that one's no good. 34-4.
He's got a serious set of wheels, Jai Gray, and he'll need to, because he will be wearing the red and green #1 jumper to begin the season. Latrell Mitchell ruled out for up to 8 weeks with that hamstring tear that he sustained at training on Wednesday at Heffron Park. That means that this little bloke, the diminutive, different style of player to Latrell, but gee, he's got some wheels, Jai Gray. Came through the juniors on the Gold Coast as a half. He was only shifted to fullback last year in New South Wales Cup for the Bunnies. Ended up playing quite a few NRL games, and he'll start the season there again this year, Dan.
Great try that, Hoops, and
It's on your own, guys.
and as you said, Brandy, 100% with everything he does. You can't ask for much more from him.
No.
20 years of age. All right, off we go again. It's been a try feast. 7 of them in the first half here.
Strong.
The Hubner
Space now and square. Go.
here on a 3-year deal, the boy from Rockhampton.
Together,
David Moale. Still just 21, Moale, who's been around a while now. Liam LeBlanc. Ooh, almost went through. Good hard run from him. Now Humphreys getting it on. Sullivan. Good pick up. Palama Matangi.
Yeah, nice take. Under pressure.
Sully all over him though.
Release. Go for.
Hubner, one out.
Hold.
Now, Dodd might have a 40-20 on his mind here, or at least an attempt. No, he's going to be over that line quite comfortably. And, geez, not much distance on that one as it goes into touch. Tough afternoon so far for Dodd. He's trying to impress. They haven't had any ball.
No, that's right. That happened to them last week too, Dan. It was errors and it was penalties that went against them that saw them have very little footy in the second half. I think before they ran in those 3 late tries against Manly, they'd had 4 sets. So Manly dominated possession last week against them, which made it tough for their playmakers, as the Dragons are doing this afternoon.
Cody Walker being rested here this afternoon. Obviously, he'll have one of the half spots come round 1. Hit up here. White and Walker last year had as good a strike rate as any South Sydney combination. Holmes. But it seems Whiten destined for the centres. Slowing the dummy half. Flanagan getting it on. Cook explores. Sullivan in no man's land. Comes to Sully. And Sully takes the tackle. 3 minutes to go.
Catch that ball? Why didn't Sullivan play it and catch it?
Last tackle here. Gutherson gets himself in a little jam. Gets it onto Sully. That's off South's hands. Oh, 6 more. Now Cook. On it goes Ilias. Here's Flanagan. Catch and pass. Shapes the kick. Now Ryan Couchman ran through a giant hole there. And aware Flanagan takes the tackle. That would have been a problem had he kept going. Ryan Couchman. Cook has to scurry to get to dummy half. Flanagan. Ilias. Sewer with footwork. Basketball pass. Cook away to Ryan Couchman. Couchman! Oh, they couldn't get to 40, could they, before half-time? The kick, South players everywhere, and that was well contained. Tass comes away. And South Sydney, hold on.
He did well. Kick was never on. There was no space at all to get it through. Fletcher Myers with a carry after Isaiah Tass made some good ground.
Fascinating how Shane Flanagan plays the second half, how much of Val we see, how much of Gutherson, how much of Cook. Here's Gray, threatening, slips through one, got past another, gets it on. It's Jaden Sullivan, the chase from Finau, and South score another. Jai Gray again, and a big smile on Latrell's face. Jaden Sullivan with the finish. And a bit of hope here for the red and greens.
Well, that's a good moment there for Jai Gray. Not for the Dragons' defence, though. I don't know how he got through. He ran into two Dragons defenders. I don't know if either of them tried to tackle. Just watch Jai Gray throws the dummy. Well, Jaden Sewer missed completely. Lockie Ilias, I think, was surprised that Jai Gray slipped through there, and then all of a sudden he was past the number 7 as well. And looked inside, just watch throw the dummy, miss. Boy.
Dodge him, card his way through.
He bounced it. Well, you've got to hit the little, like I know he's only little, but you've got to hit him, make good contact, otherwise he'll ricochet out of the tackle, just like he did there, and picks up Jaden Sullivan. 38-10 at the break. 34-10.
34-10.
That's
Come
a
on.
lot.
Don't make it harder for South. They're on their way back here. 2 tries in space of a couple of minutes. And look, these trials take some weird and fascinating turns. I mean, they had a good second half last year with their reserve player, South. So all the records, it was going to be the biggest halftime lead in the Charity Shield. Might still be. We'll get a check on that as Tass puts it through. 34-10. Well, hard to complain if you're a fan here at Mudgee, because the entertainment has been supreme. Good try, that one, from Jaden Sullivan, who, as I said earlier, on loan. He played 26 games for the Dragons, moved to the Tigers last year, only 9 matches. It's a move that hasn't worked, certainly not yet. So he's on loan, but then he goes back to the Tigers for 26 and 27.
6 tries to 2. 6 for the Dragons. 4 of those 6 coming courtesy of Sione Finau. Now, enormous first half. And now he finds himself on the sidelines, and I don't think he'll return. Bit of heat stroke and maybe a bit of a head knock.
So the kick off here with 5 seconds left. And it's going to be Fletcher Myers just happy to carry it forward. And an eye-catching opening period from St George Illawarra. 6 tries. Hope's just starting to rise. Finau 4. Matt Finau, Lockie Ilias with the others. Outstanding performances from the likes of Gutherson and Holmes. And St George Illawarra lead 34-10.
And if possession swings around, as you said, Dan, these funny things can happen in these trials.
Some bad news for you South Sydney fans. One of the experimental rules is in effect right now. Lewis Dodd has been suspended sin bin for 10 minutes for that high shot on Sione Finau. The rule, Greg Alexander, a 15-minute period after the incident occurs, bunker can decide, as we look here, bang, got him across the chops. That's wiped Sione Finau out of the game.
Oh, yeah.
And
failed his HIA, and for that reason, Lewis Dodd is bin. Has been bin to start the second half.
So 13 on 12 to start this second half. It's a rule that is only in experimental mode. It is not entering the NRL proper in 2025. But that's the way it's meant to be, Brandy. If they miss the bunker initially, they can. I mean, it is open to rorting, I suppose. if the high tackle comes. And anyway, South Sydney here. Just quells their good finish to the first half. Excellent set this. This is Jai Gray. Dragons are playing a 25-man squad here, so we are going to see a lot of different faces in this second half. South only 22. Holmes losing it behind him.
Holmes losing it behind him, but after a set where they almost made it to the 40-metre line of the Dragons, the kick really went nowhere from South Sydney. Jaden Sullivan putting it up, and although it was spilt by Val Holmes, they tied it up, the Dragons, but the kick should have been a lot deeper.
Sloan followed up now with ball sent out.
That's a good
Ilias.
tackle. Jack White round the legs there on Jaden Sewer.
Ryan Couchman. 12 first grade games. His brother 25 under his belt. And Ilias.
Well, that's a good set defensively there for South Sydney. They restricted the Dragons to 20 metres. Went nowhere in that set.
Munro, haven't seen him much. Just hasn't been the sort of afternoon for Tyrone Munro. Humphreys is the 14. Playing in that dummy half role. Made his debut last year. Loved it, Manly. Played as a halfback. He thumped Newcastle. He had a great day. He was at Brookie. Hubner at the line. Well, read that one.
I think he is a halfback. He grew up playing in the halves, and they turned him into a dummy half as well as he gets the ball one off the ruck.
And another good set here. So a bit of punch about this from South. 12 on 13, of course. And the high one put up. And no problem at the back here for Matt Finau, who has one of the 6 Dragons tries.
Strong. Space and square. Harmay. Out of there, Harmay. Go to.
So a lot of the familiar names still on the field here. The last hit out before the season proper starts. Obviously for these two sides, it's in a fortnight. Gunderson watching on. And the Dragons again, they're really struggling to make metres. Second time in this second half. So Munro, chance to wind up. Alex Johnston expected back soon. No Cody Walker. Campbell Graham hopefully will be back early in the season. He picked up another injury after recovering from that horror season ender he had last year.
Yeah, sternum injury that kept him out for almost 18 months on and off, and then breaks his hand in the off season, so he misses out in the start.
Sullivan turning it in. LeBlanc, good grass cutting tackle. Hamish Stewart in 17 for the Red V. Very good tackle. Sloan having to back here, trying to create room. He does reasonably well. Was getting around Tass. So a spread here inside their 20. Sully does well.
It's good play from the Dragons.
Well,
good run from Sloan, and then shifted it to the right, made some good metres.
Yeah.
And their previous couple of sets, they've really battled for yards, but that was a good start.
Holmes down the middle, and the offload. Gutherson hovering. Gutherson with a kick inside his own half. Oh, goodness. That's a play you only want to see in the trials. Sloan had no chance.
You can understand what he was trying to do. Obviously, the Bunnies' very short defensive line on that side. There was a bit of space. Fletcher Myers caught infield, gets the kick right.
Vision exceptional, execution not so much.
Push up. Yep. Go.
Excellent day for Clint Gutherson on that aside. So
Surrender!
they've soaked up half this Lewis Dodd
Stand
sin-bin
and
time
wait.
without really
Go.
being bothered so far, South. All the action really has been at this
Jaden
southern
square.
end.
Not early, hold them. Hold! Go.
Below Matangi. Hubner. Sullivan getting it on. LeBlanc. And Queenslander Liam LeBlanc. Memazelos shuffling it on. Sullivan. Tass. threatening. 10 metres away. Very good set. This again. Important tackle from Flanagan, but one left here for South.
Good left.
Now the kick from Humphreys. Should be a contest. Back it comes. Matangi plants it down. With a man in the bin, they've just bridged this gap a little more. That's 3 tries in a row for South.
Well, they had to be first to score in this half, 34-10 at the break. They scored the last 2 tries of the first half, and Matangi grabs the third. So either side of the break, South Sydney have been the better side. That's only been for about 10 minutes, but they're back in the game with that one from Matangi. Get a little bit of luck there with the Jamie Humphreys kicker was on the spot on the try line. If it's touched Jack White and it's gone backwards, and Matangi there to clean up the loose ball. Just a bit flat, the Dragons, to start the second half. Bunny's busy.
Jamie Humphreys will be happy with that, having a big part in that try at the end there with the well-placed kick. Matangi entering his 6th year of the NRL. Good end of last year. He was part of Tonga's run to the final in the Pacific Championships.
Interesting how they played Matangi spent a lot of time in the middle last year. Does Wayne Bennett consider that? Started in the back row, started on the edge, where he played State of Origin.
Yeah.
But he was good in the middle, and they've lost, you know, they're battling for middles, aren't they? Vita Totola has had a wretched run with injury, yet to come back. Well, Burgess is gone.
That's it. They've got the likes of Host and Aiken as well, who can play edge. There's the kick, and there's the goal. Well, they might not be so done here, South Sydney. Dodd's back in 2.5 minutes, 34-16 Dragons. James Hooper, down to you.
Brandy raises a very fair question there around Keon Matangi. We've seen him today exclusively on the left edge for the Bunnies, where he's just scored that try. Last year we saw him a lot in the middle. He began the season on the edge on the left, then he was shifted to the right, ended up finishing the year in the middle. But speaking of Wayne Bennett over the course of the summer, he does see Keon specifically as an edge forward. He wants him as a dynamic weapon on that left side, and he stripped about 10 kilos over the summer after a heavy bag from Wayne.
Okay, that'll do it.
Yeah, he might have been carrying anywhere near 120 kilos last year, Keon. He's a big boy, but looks much better.
Humber with a terrific pass. Mamazello skipping downfield. This is lovely. Tass gets it on. Now Myers rounded up, but that's only tackle 2.
Smart play there by the Bunnies. The offload caused problems for the Dragons' defence. Here they come.
Sullivan, catch and pass. Geez, Hubner's had some nice moments. The line Humphreys, Gray lurking, dumbing, gets inside the 20. Whiten surveying, happy just to pass. Humphreys calling the shots. Moale down the middle inside the 10. This is a very big play in the context of this afternoon. Humphreys, beautiful, it's a try. Matangi is in again, and Jamie Humphreys is starting to impose himself.
Well, what a brilliant set from South Sydney. Started at the other end of the field. And again, Keon Matangi scores a try back to back and really gets them back into this contest. 34-20, kick to come.
Well, Jamie Humphreys, one could argue, has done more in this short period at number 7 than Dodd. Although, to be fair, Dodd hasn't had much attacking ball.
Just a flat start from the Dragons. Even though Shane Flanagan's left his key players out there, they just haven't started the second half like they started the game. And South Sydney have taken advantage of that. Despite playing a man down, have looked comfortably the better side in the second half.
And there's still the bulk of the Dragons' top side out there. It's not as if it's all second stringers.
He's left the big guns out there.
So this is very, very encouraging for South. Jamie Humphreys, is he doing enough to put pressure for that number 7 jumper? or the kick. Now that may count towards the end. Bad miss from Tass, 34-20, but the Rabbitohs are on their way back.
A question for Brandy, Dan, around the South Sydney halves puzzle. Lewis Dodd in the sin bin at the moment, but he's their marquee man. They went and spent $700,000 a year over the course of the off-season to bring him to Heffron Park. Yet the best they've looked is with Jamie Humphreys at halfback today. How are you seeing that whole equation, Brand?
Jimmy, it's interesting, isn't it? I left Gosford last week still with a big question mark over Lewis Dodd, but they played without the footy last week against Manly. They haven't had much football in the first half. He hasn't started the second half, but Jamie Humphreys has looked good. Whether it's Jamie Humphreys playing half, I don't know if Cody Walker's going to be fit, whether you stick him at 7 and Jack Whiten at 5'8". He's got a number of options, Wayne Bennett, and at the moment I still don't know which one's the best.
Well, Jamie Humphreys couldn't have done much more to this point. That's for sure. 34-20. Mamazelos. Hubner's been busy. Tough stuff here from South, bringing the ball out here. Liam LeBlanc has had a fair bit of game time. Now Sean Kepi. Tackle 4. 10 shy of halfway. Mamazelos takes off and gets it onto Gray. He's in the backfield. Gray, pass knocked down by Sloan, and Gray scoops it up. Sloan saves a try, but the Dragons are in a bit of trouble here. South's on the march. Sullivan catch and pass. Humphreys on. Dragons will do well to hang on. Whiten scampering. Whiten looking to link up. Whiten goes himself. Flanagan, desperate tackle. Mamazelos. He gets over, and they'll walk that back to the 10-metre line, and the Dragons get a much-needed breather.
Oh, boy, the South Sydney side. Haven't they come to play in the second half? Brilliant stuff there from Mamazelos and also Jai Gray. Set restart. They get another set of 6. Can they make it count?
Kepi comes down to the last here. Humphreys will want it. Humphreys gets it. Humphreys goes himself. Humphreys scores! South again, and Jamie Humphreys is having a second half blinder.
Well, he does it all himself, Jamie Humphreys. We were just talking about who'll wear the number 7 come round 1 for the Bunnies. This gets them a little closer in this one. The 42nd Charity Shield clash, and the Bunnies were out. It was knock out the Dragons, and there's Mamazelos out of dummy half, taking advantage of a quick play the ball, links with Jai Gray. The set starts again, and at the back end of it, Jamie Humphreys throws a dummy, gets in between 2 defenders. One of those, Lockie Ilias, beats Gutho and scores a try. The 5th for the Bunnies, and you're right, he hasn't put a foot wrong in this second half. Playing at first receiver. Been very busy, Jamie Humphreys.
A try, 2 try assists, 4 runs, 2 tackle busts, a line break. Exceptional. It was 34-0. 34-0 after 30 minutes. That Jai Gray bit of individual brilliance, the little grubber in the chase, has turned this around. South have scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tries in 18 minutes. And the kick is good. Remarkably, it's a 2-score game, 34-26.
The plan over the summer at South Sydney was for Jamie Humphreys to play in the hooking role. Peter Mamazoulis had his nose in front of, in terms of probably being the starting hooker, but the plan was Jamie Humphreys was absolutely going to feature a dummy half. But from what we've seen over the course of the last 20 minutes, well, he has to be stating a case to play in the halves. He came through in the halves. He was at Manly as part of their elite pathways for the past number of seasons. Switched to Souths towards the end of last year, and I tell you what, he looks good today.
Oh, doesn't he?
He looks fantastic.
There's a graphic you're not going to see often. Last 10 tries. We're not going to have to pull that out at Fox too often this year. Well, we've still got 26 to go.
Release!
What an afternoon. 34 unanswered, now 26 from South. Well, I suppose the 34 have been answered with 26 points from South. That's Pacific Tonga. He's a unit, the number 21 for the Dragons. They need some fresh bodies out there. Oh, Hubner copping a shot there, but he's a hard, tough runner, Lockie Hubner. Now, the delayed pass from Humphreys. Nothing doing this time. Matangi captured. Nothing wrong with that set, though. Holding onto it and getting to halfway. So Sullivan to do the kicking. It's a fair piece of that. And the Dragons will bring it back here, but South Sydney.
The longer Wayne Bennett leaves Jamie Humphreys at halfback.
It's a good sign.
That is a good sign. Well, the more he wants to see of him.
Yeah.
So the less convinced he is about the English boy, and the more he wants to see of Jamie Humphreys.
Well, this is one for you experts. It wasn't a signing from Wayne, the Lewis Dodd. That came before he agreed. So anyway, that's a good chat for after the game as we do the pre-season challenge here. 34-26, and it looks like Dodd's afternoon, certainly for now, is over. Not coming back on after he was sin bin. Emre Gula.
Last one, Sean! Wait! Go!
Won a Super League premiership at 19 as a halfback, Dodd. Not an auspicious start here, though. Good catch, Myers. South have got it back. Hope you're enjoying it. Hard not to. Charity Shield live here on Fox League as we get ready for Vegas. We've got just 8 days to go as Jaden Seward comes off.
Off the grip, mate! Wait!
Humphreys going into that dummy half roll for that play. Whiten certainly more involved in this second half as they enjoy possession. Kepi.
Last one, Marcus! Go, not late!
And the kick in now. That's from inside the 40. Oh, wonderful catch by Sloan. Took a big risk, but boy, that's a terrific catch.
It is. Not easy to come forward to a ball that's dropping, and that's exactly what Tyrell Sloan did. You're right about the risk. After giving up the last 5 tries, certainly didn't want to be making an error at the back off the kick from Jaden Sullivan. That's a good charge.
Tyler Mariner. Yeah, the fresh bodies now. He's trying to add some impact. DeBello, Pacific Tonga. He's wearing 22, not 21. But good stuff here for the Dragons. Cook keeps it alive. Gula with the pass. Before the last, Ilias with the kick, tucking it in behind Munro, and Munro will get back into the field of play. And drops to the ground, but good work there from Munro.
Great work. Finau had a big chance to knock him back into the in-goal area and receive the ball again off the dropout, but Munro stayed low and then got himself 10 metres.
Impressed last week. More so with his hard running from the back. A lot of rolling up of the sleeves.
Well, you know he can finish.
Oh, yeah.
He's a brilliant finisher.
Oh, that's a shame for South.
They needed to cut. They needed to, after 34-0, they needed to just about be perfect.
Play the ball!
They get themselves back into the game, and now they offer the Dragons really the first chance the Dragons have had in terms of field position in this second half.
They were 10 from 10 completions until then. That's a good sign. Sione Finau, the HIA, and he was in a very bad way there for a very short period, but good. 4 tries. 4 tries. And seems to be a little better, so good luck to that young man. Pacific Tonga. Dragons here, trying to settle things down. Conceded the last 5 tries. Gula. There's a bullet here to Flanagan, keeps it alive. Gutherson hauling it in. Not the crispness of the first half, but Gutherson threatening. Slow play the ball here. Cook waiting. DeBellin offloads. Cook Gutherson shuffles. Vitala Mariner, another testing run. Early days for him, but he's been hard work so far. Oh, Sully loops one. The show and go from Ilias. Last tackle.
You're on top. Go.
DeBellin. Here's Flanagan. Very flat here, but they might score. Oh, the pass cut out by Myers. Gutherson knows that wing is vacant, but Myers saving a try.
Myers just getting his hands to the ball. Gutherson trying to get a bullet out there to Tyrell Sloan, who held his wit. Pass, there's Myers in, and an unmarked Sloan waiting for the pass. Just didn't get to him. The Dragons retain possession.
Yeah, he was insane. Yeah.
Venizelos is down here, and that causes the pause. Still 20 minutes and change to go. What's up here? Left leg. Oh, testing stability. Are they at that knee? Played 18 games last year, all off the bench. Off Ben Cray. Yeah, Ben Cray, who Dragons great. Watching on here. He's going to try and walk this off. That's a good sign.
We okay to go? Play on. All right, let's go.
Okay, another set
Okay,
for the Bunnies to defend their line.
Let's go.
Well, his reaction there wouldn't fill you with confidence, but he's staying on, so that's obviously the biggest thing of all.
Hayden Buchanan ran onto the field. He's out here in the centres, 25 for the Dragons.
Just turned 19, young Buchanan, poised. Sloan looking out to the left.
Gave the hand away there. There's Buchanan. Won't get to the line, but a penalty here. South's offside.
Too early, mate. Do you want to repack?
Pack the scrum again,
Back
boys.
to the scrum again.
Got to stay on. Otherwise, it's a sim.
Play might have just worked if
Gotta stay
South
on.
Sydney
It's a
were forced to
sim
stay
break,
inside.
no.
It wasn't a bad set play from the scrum there from the Dragons. They reloading.
Right, again, they're looking at the left here, so certainly shaping to go that way. Just got by body language, but maybe it's all a ruse. Nope, out it comes. Buchanan. Sloan on the outside. Tass all over. Hayden Buchanan.
Stand now. Hold, guys. Hold. Go.
Pacific Tonga. Highly decorated youngster, Australian schoolboy, New South Wales 19's origin player. Cook now, away to Flanagan, to Ilias. Ilias gets it on. Sulik is over. And that is a much-needed Dragons try. Real much-needed try, really much-needed try. Their first chance of the second half, and they get over, and now they just steady things.
And they continue to look good on the edges, the Dragons, and Moses Sully, they've loved the left side, but out the right, Lockie Ilias held the ball up beautifully. Players in motion, Gutherson out the back. He hits the lead runner in Moses Sully. He splits the two South Sydney defenders. It's a job to take him down, but barely touch. Barely a hand laid on him. So that the space created by Ilias, the deception from the Dragons out the back, it was a well-worked play, and it's something that the Dragons' attack has been very impressive.
Yes, it has.
Like the 6 tries they scored were all very good tries. A couple of long-range efforts, one off an error where the South Sydney kick didn't find space, and Holmes and Sione Finau combined to run 80 metres. But when they have had the ball, when they've controlled possession, their attack left and right has looked very good.
So Moses Sully, another 100-metre plus day for him, and now the try, and he got a try assist as well. So good afternoon for him. Ilias with the try assist. So Flanagan.
And did it nicely. Lockie Ilias looked very good there.
Important kick here just to make this a 3-score game. Make this much tougher for South. South's reigning Charity Shield champions. They won last year 28-6. kick from Flanagan is right down the middle. So with Holmes off, Flanagan does the honours and makes it 40-26, and that is a record even before that kick for the Dragons in the Charity Shield. 34 was their most in the Charity Shield, and
it is worth watching again. Just held it up nicely. Jack White and Munro, the split with the run from Sewell. He ran into space and Ilias delivered the ball perfectly.
So afternoon over for those two. They both played All-Stars last week. And Jack White and Tyrone Munro. I guess we'll see them, fingers crossed, round 1. Friday night footy against the Dolphins up in Brisbane. So mouth-watering opening Friday night there. With Wayne, of course, going back to his old... Didn't muck around getting that matchup going, the NRL, with the scheduling. Wayne against Christian Wolf. So the Dragons now may have just settled down here. It's a good set so far following points. De Bellin backing up, getting to halfway. Walking right off the mark there, but you heard there from Adam G, no markers. Gray, he was bamboozled by that one. He didn't panic too badly. And he's swallowed up here on the 10-metre line by Faitala Mariner. So we're seeing some new faces here for the South Sydney side. I've got some news here. James Hooper has got some news, so we go down to you.
Yeah, Wayne Bennett's just taken some of the big guns off. So Jack White no longer out on the field. Tyrone Munro also off, as well as a man who started in the halves, Jaden Sullivan. Still no sign of Lewis Dodd at this point.
Yeah. Did I notice Ashton Ward, who played against Manly? He's on the field, I think. Half 5'8".
Former Dragon. Going through the Dragons is the high kick. That's a good set from South, and all flying through. Luke Webley, the 22 for South, and the 23, Talanoa Penatani, brother of Tiana Penatani. There he is, the 25, Bailey Bentley Harpe. He's the son of Shontaine Harpe. Played for the Warriors for 3 years, but really did his best work in the Super League for Bradford. Ooh. Has
got the ball away to Tyrell Sloan as he was going backwards. There's a handy little flick there to Gutherson.
Gutherson here with Gula getting an offload. Flanagan, rushing up was Tass. Flanagan with the dummy. Who can he find? He can find Cook. Cook is going to be wrapped up by Bentley Harpe. Last tackle though. Gutherson. Getting down there is Ilias. That's off South Sydney, but it went backwards. And the Bunnies survived.
Yeah, nice play there from Kyle Flanagan through the dummy, as he's done a number of times. I thought Kyle Flanagan had a pretty good year last year. Backed it up with a great start and a terrific game against the Roosters last week, and he's been good today. He's been very good.
Totally different situation this year, isn't it? Ben Hunt was responsible when he played for 48% of the Dragons' tries, either a try or a try assist. So.
Yeah, just watch Flanagan off the pass there from Gula, just flicked it out, throws the dummy, squeezes in between the two defenders. Good stuff there from Flanagan. It's funny what happens, you know, when Ben Hunt, who was prolific in terms of, as we see, Gray in action.
Gula desperate. Pass to Mamazelos. He's recovered from the knee injury. That's a handy kick there, Phil Blake style. And now the kick here is smothered here. Not quite the Chaser Mamazelos who was taken to ground.
He had to work hard there, Lockie Ilias, to get back to the ball to close it down. But South Sydney threatening around the ruck. Some good stuff from the 9 and 1, Jai Gray and Mamazelos.
Sloan.
His
8th run. Oh, this is Ryan Couchman. Geez, gaps opening up here for the Dragons. And now, Cook is collared. And the former teammates clash here, and Kepi apologises. Cook there was a bit cranky, as you can imagine, but that settles down quickly.
The offload's hurting South. Tough Ryan Couchman just taking off and then finding Damien Cook. Just a wrap-around tackle. No force in that from Kepi.
A penalty and nothing more, but it gives the Dragons, oh look at that, 6-0 penalties. A lot of those coming early. So, a chance here to really bury South Sydney once and for all in this Charity Shield. The confusion there. Jacob Little in the game in 14. Ryan Couchman's going to take the tap. So Little's role changing this year. Starting hooker last year, but obviously with Damien Cook in. More of a pinch hitter, it would seem. Pacifici Tonga, his 5th run. And, Matt Finau and Lachlan Ilias, they're done. DeBell on the decoy. Flanagan, the puppet master. Glover is the number 20. That's Jonah Glover, halfback. As now comes across here, and here's a try. Here is a try. Gutherson with another try assist, and Ryan Couchman gets it over. So finally it looks like the Dragons have put the South Sydney Rabbitohs away.
Well, it was a spirited fight back by the Bunnies, 34-0. They got it back to 34-26, but the Dragons are now, with ease, opening up this South Sydney defence. Nice play again. Flanagan involved with Gutherson. Good little tip on, and then the Couchman brothers, I think, have been strong. Ryan scoring the try. Toby, who started the game. I think both very athletic and been good for the Dragons, been very good for Shane Flanagan. If they both get a start in round 1.
Just got to correct myself, Brandy. Number 14 is listed as Jacob Little, and I thought, boy, what's he done? Has he got a haircut or something in the off-season?
When you said Jacob
yeah, I'm the same, and I'm thinking, well, it's Connor Molaison, so I don't know what they've done there. They've made a very late change, because he's listed as playing. It's a trial. It doesn't matter. You can just bring in different players. But number 14, Connor Molaison, who's played a little bit of first grade as well. Clint Gutherson. A lot of players that have just ticked the boxes. I know it's a high-scoring game, a lot of line breaks and a lot of tackles missed, but a bit to like for both sides, really.
There has been. Well, spirited fight back, and there was some good performances from some South Sydney players. The one that's going to keep people talking will be the Jamie Humphreys second half performance at number 7. I don't know if Lewis Dodd is on the field yet after being binned for the high shot on Sione Finau.
So most points now in any Charity Shield. So we've had the Dragons' highest score, which continues to grow. And I'm not sure we've had a half century in the Charity Shield by any team. Well, they've got 11 minutes to get that. 46 points to 26.
Well, there he is, Lewis Dodd.
What do you read into that? So half-time, probably the plan, give him 40 minutes. It can't be a good sign that Wayne has just kept him off.
I would think not a good sign. If I was Lewis Dodd, I'd be sitting there worried about whether I'll be in the side or not come round 1. And the longer he stays off the field, well, for mine, you want to be playing. If Lewis Dodd's going to be a halfback in round 1, you want to have him on the field as much as possible, I would think.
You would think. So certainly a story that before we really get excited about Vegas and that takes over, I'm sure the first couple of days we're hearing a lot about the battle for the South Sydney number 7 jersey. And Mamazella said checking it. I mean, he stayed on for a good, 10 minutes after he went down. It seems like a positive sign. There's Ryan Couchman. Geez, he's been strong, hasn't he, since coming in?
Very good.
Develop. Getting it on here. He's now shifting. And again, one of these new players here for St George. Oh, no, Mamazelos. So he persevered. And this is Jonah Glover, the halfback who kicks long. Pretty normal Charity Shield where, of all the trial games, the key players normally stay on the longest. So we've been treated to most of the players we'll be seeing in first grade. And now we get to see some of the youth. The 21 for the Dragons is Cade Reid. The 23, Dylan Egan, involved in that tackle. Hubner, another impressive player. Humphreys, Gray, 23 is Penatani. And Harpe, Bentley Harpe, the man in 25. And good contact there. Duncan getting a late piece of it in the back end of this game. Humphreys, left foot kicker, end over end. Good depth on that. And Red V bring it back here with Nathan Lawson, a Sevens rugby player, Paris Olympics, Tokyo Olympics. He's 26, number 24. He was Australia's Sevens Player of the Year last year, but he's giving rugby league a crack.
And looked very comfortable last week too. Certainly an option for Shane Flanagan, maybe not early in the season, but I think once he gets his head around rugby league, which mightn't take long from what I've seen, it could be a real weapon for Flanagan.
Pacific Tonga, the 22. Now the kick from Glover. And that's going to be a bit big, so a bit too much pepper on that one. Dragons' first game. In fact, they've got a nice little opening to the season. They've got 3 home games on the trot. Canterbury, that's got to be a standing room only game. Cogra, a Fox exclusive, that one, Saturday 5:30 in round 1.
Still got it.
And,
Go 0.
and then they play South. These two play in round number 2
Strong tackle.
in Wollongong. Same time slot, Saturday afternoon.
Wait. Go.
Shane Flanagan looking on. So they're going to go 2 from 2 here, and the team back at the Clyde Churchill studio. Oh, hello. Gray, well held by Pacific Tonga. Where the Dragons stand in this pre-season challenge. Wayne Bennett couldn't care less about the pre-season challenge in terms of the points situation. And they're going to go 0-2 for this pre-season. And the Bunnies now with Ashton Ward wrapped up. Humphreys dummy half. Sullivan kicking, Sloan, and poking his hand there was Tass. Should be a 20-metre tap.
Onside Dragons.
Well, then there's Jaden Sullivan as an option in the halves.
Leave it on the mark, guys. Use your foot.
The Cody Walker Jack Whiten combination might be tough to put together with the absence and the unavailability of Campbell Graham.
Yes.
Makes it difficult to be dragging Jack out of the centres to play in the 5-8, but
They did it 10 times last year. 5 wins, 5 losses. They only won 2 other games when they weren't the halves.
when Cody played like a half, when Cody played as a halfback last year, South looked better.
Watch out.
Cody Walker, calf injury, expected to be there for round 1. You've got a lot of players that have got little niggles here. Well read play that one. Ashton Ward with a good grass-cutting tackle. Malise on the 14. Around kick.
Spectacular
Great catch. Sullivan. So you got Ewan Aiken with a peck. That's a problem. He's out for a while. Cam Murray, the disastrous injury, and Latrell Mitchell out for the next
at least
couple of
maybe
months.
5 or 6
Seems that
weeks.
way. Alex Johnston not back till round 4. Campbell Graham with that hand injury not back till round 4. But the ones they're hoping for Suncorp round 1, Jai Arrow,
That's
he's had
a big return.
wretched run the last couple of years. Saliva Harvilli, he copped a head knock last week. Junior Totola, talk about wretched runs, as Duncan shovels it on, and that man Cody Walker. So they're 4 pretty important players to come back into the side. And now the kick from way inside the 40. And, gee, it had distance on it, but no problem for Sloan. Good start to the day, this. We've got Broncos Bulldogs. That's coming up in about 40 minutes from now. And KO Stadium hosting a double header. So you've got that, and then you've got Dolphins Titans. So it's a Brisbane doubleheader to round out this Saturday. As it comes across here for Egan. What are their best in New South Wales Cup? Oh, just shrugging defenders off him. Oh, then the money ball goes astray. Stewart couldn't hang on to it. Would have had work to do. Oh, young man.
Dylan Egan back through the centre of the field there. That was pretty exciting. Hamish Stewart had a chance to score a try. Egan gets into space, throws off Dallas Duncan, and then just went without it. It was down a bit low. It was a tough one.
2 games tomorrow. So Roosters Knights at 3:15 New South Wales time, 2:15 Queensland, and that's followed by Storm Cowboys, and that will round out the pre-season challenge. There's some match stats. Now the Dragons, it's 10 line breaks, isn't it? That's the bonus point. So they're no, it can't be 10. It's 5 line breaks.
10 offload.
They should get double points. Yes. So they've
5 tries.
Got a full house, the Dragons.
Yeah.
And thoroughly deserved as well. So they must be in pole position for.
I think they'd
for the 100K.
They'll jump to the front.
Tell you what, that's a good meal at the Heritage Room at the Luke's Club. 100K. Put that on the bar. All right, comes across now. Yeah, Ward fires a long one. Tass.
Surrender! Last one! Wait. Go! Not late, Loki!
Ward. Gee, hoofs that. And too big, a little overexcited. Another 20-metre tap.
Everyone's got to be on. South, front foot. Front foot. Start behind the line. Front foot.
And there he is, Ashton Ward. Made a great cover tackle last week. He was with the Dragons last year.
Up, tell us.
And has been very impressive coming up through the grades. Had a little taste of New South Wales Cup, and he starred there for a couple of games. And
put in a good kick last week too for a Jai Gray try.
Wait here in the middle.
Ashton Ward just before the half-time break.
Faitala Mariner. Gee, he's been strong, Faitala Mariner, veteran now. 31 years of age. He moved to the Dragons before last season. Oh, DeBellin with Duncan rushing up on him.
Keon, no more.
He provides plenty of cover, doesn't he, Faitala Mariner, for the edge or middle players.
Release, lock
Stewart.
on.
Provides some pretty good depth for Shane Flanagan.
So Malisa did 14. At the line, Glover. Oh, here he goes. Glover, Jonah Glover.
You fell into his head. It's not forceful. Go.
All right, no penalty. Last tackle. Cade Reed, the 21. The stab, Ryan Couchman coming through. And that will do. Dragons might just have the last say here as they try and get to 50.
Yeah, Jonah Glover found some space there. In at halfback for the Dragons.
Pretty good last year in the New South Wales Cup. They just missed the top 5, the Dragons, and
For the
he
club.
was very good at halfback. 8 tries, 9 try assists. So a minute and a half to go here, and then we'll head back to the Clive Churchill studio. And Dragons here, one chance to get 50. Buchanan. It's never been done in the Charity Shield. 50 in a match from one team. Stewart.
Davey, no more. Off the leg. That's it.
Now Reed misfires.
Surrender.
Sully falling on it.
Stand. Wait.
Another good performance from Sully.
Wait. Go for it.
14 runs. A try assist. Giving his usual style performance. Pacific Tonga there, a little bit flat-footed. DeBellin. Geez, had some game time. Jack DeBellin.
Last one. Go,
Pretty
go,
good too.
go.
It's been strong for the Dragons.
That's come out, knock on. And that might snuff out the last chance of 50. And there's the commentator's curse, by the way, right at the death. Jack DeBellin has been superb.
Good finish.
And ball comes out. So he's got to be happy with what he's seen. A worrying little collapse there in the middle, but in the end it's a thumping 46-26 result here. no one in any hurry here to get this going.
Can't have looked any better with the ball, the Dragons, in the opening 30 minutes. And then at times in the second half, looked just as good.
Well, one last play, and it's fallen on here by Humphreys. Well, you don't win premierships in February, but the Dragons have ticked all the boxes in this off-season. Hopes would be as high as they've been in a little while. They win the Charity Shield for the second time in the last 3 years.